Hi, welcome back to the CuSi Sound channel. Here we are, start of another year, 2020. There's a vision. Yeah, and things are going at a pace. Well, steady pace. It's hard to believe that it's just over a year since I actually started this CuSi Sound project. It was Synth 2018, where my son and I were marveling at all the DIY stuff and thought, yeah, we're going to have a go at this. He's a busy chap, so he's not really done a great deal himself. But I've got time on my hands, so I've used that time, I think, wisely, and built a whole modular system. Well, there's never a whole modular system. There's always more modules. There's never enough modules. So yeah, I mean, way back then, after Synthfest, I thought, right, now we'll go at this, and we kind of went and had a look around. Didn't want to buy kits, I wanted to kind of grassroots it. Two things: I wanted to see whether I could actually build these electronic circuits and get them to work. That didn't always happen, but that's part of the learning process, and I learned a lot about. I have a very basic knowledge of electronics. I'm nowhere near an expert. I'm really first principles, and that's as far as it gets. I can't do the calculations. I rely on other people to work out all the clever bits, and then I can take what they've done and either use it directly or adapt it to what I want to do. And the other reason was, I've loved synths. I've loved the sound of synths, and they've scared the hell out of me for years. I'm standing in front of a Korg or a Moog or whatever, and I had no idea where to start. I didn't understand analog, and I wanted to understand analog synth. I've been playing with soft synths, but again, you don't get much beyond the presets. So the two aims really in all this was to have a go at building electronic circuits, see if I could build something myself that I could actually make music with. And then the other one was to learn about how synthesizers work and how sound design works and how I can use that in my music. And I think I've had quite a bit of success over the last year. Started out with the little boxes. There's a whole series on that. I'll put a link on that. And obviously, the first one, nearly everybody starts with the good old Atari Punk console, and you get some great sounds out of that. That was really good fun to play with, and it taught me a hell of a lot building that. And as things progressed, it kind of I was already putting some of my other music up on a different channel, and I thought I'd like to start and share my journey, if you like. So I decided I wanted some different branding. I didn't want to use the same name as I was with the other music, and that's when I came up with CuSi Sound, and the CuSi Sound channel was born. In case anybody's still wondering, how come CuSi Sound? A capital C, small u, capital S, small I. Well, the sound is generated and manipulated by silicon chips and then passed through copper wires. The chemical symbol for silicon is Si, the chemical symbol for copper is Cu. And I thought Siku probably didn't quite ring CuSi. Now, that rhyme. So, there you go, that's where I got the CuSi Sound idea from. And that's become my electronic music stroke DIY synth brand. And yeah, since that first Atari Punk console, if you've been following this series, you'll see that it's grown and grown and grown, and it's still growing. So, 2020, what does 2020 hold? Well, I did it last year. I kind of spent quite a while giving an in-depth series on my Project 9 prototype, DIY, modular, analog synth. Having had a lot of success with Project 9, I wanted to build some modules that now started to want to rely on higher voltages and dual rail power supplies. So I decided to go down the plus minus 12 volt route, and hence Project 12 Synth was born. So one of the things I'll do this year is have a look at some of the modules that I've got in Project 12 and talk about how I put those together and what they actually do when you turn them on and start using them in your music stroke sound design. You've already heard some of the output from those because I've been using them in some of the other stuff I've been doing. But then there's a lot more modules to come. I've got a whole load more of new build ideas, so much so I've had to build another box to put them in. So yeah, it's the same format as Project 9 and then Project 12. It's really just an extension of Project 12. It's got the plus and minus 12 volt power supply. I'll come a little bit closer and show you what we've got here. So if you look in the back, you can see there's the circuit board, which is a fairly basic plus and minus 12 volt power supply. I'll probably, when I do the Project 12, I'll do something on that. But also there's a breakout board there, and if you look at the little breakout board, what the breakout board gives me is a plus 9 volt and a plus 5 volt power supply. So I can start and play around with a whole range of modules now, going a whole range of voltages. So what I'm after, well, I've towards the end of last year, I found out a little bit about why I was struggling with some of the gate signals, and learnt all about gate comparators. So one of those is definitely going to go in. I've been trying to come up with a real simplified design for a clock divider based around a decade counter. I got one design to work, and then I twiddled with it and it stopped working. Then I twiddled with it and it started working. It's work in progress. Drums, I want to develop a little bit of success with drums, and I want to develop the drums a little bit more and kind of get some more percussion in there. Which also means I want to revisit noise. My journey into noise on Project 9 turned out to be a bit of a failure, really. I just picked up everything, including the local taxis, so it wasn't great. So I want to try some different designs on noise and see if we can get that working, and then get into the percussion. I've got an idea for a triple sequencer with a master clock and kind of switchable gates and things. That's going to get quite big and complicated. Probably won't end up in the standard synth box. That's probably end up with a box of its own, because that's going to be quite a beastie. I did mute the idea of tote the idea of probably taking what I've learnt and doing a Project 9 Model B, and I may get on with that. I may do something along those lines. And also, if you've seen my kind of mad scientist, Victorian inventor kind of boxes I've been building, I have an idea for this year's Victorian invention stroke mad scientist contraption. I'm not going to tell you anything about that, but it's a bit of a challenge, this one. So I'm going to work on a few prototypes, get a few ideas going, see what I can get working, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have the return of the Victorian inventor and or the mad scientist. that's about it really. Yeah, it's been an epic journey over the last 14 months, I think it's something like that, since I started all this. I've made some great strides, I've made some big mistakes, I've learnt from the mistakes. You've got to make the mistakes in order to learn. So yeah, don't be afraid to make the mistakes. Look at what I've been doing and go on, have a go. Build your own.